Hi everyone, welcome to Veronika Hug. Today I'm showing you the dragon scarf in pattern pattern, and for this project you're gonna need 200 grams of the Woolly Hugs Bandy. So this is 100 grams per ball and it's 100% cotton and has a length of 210 meters. So you're gonna need 2 of these for the entire scarf since it's gonna be pretty light and it's gonna still have a nice length. So my needles are regular knitting needles, 6mm wide, and yeah, I have a line in between. So I'm going to show you today how you can do this in the pattern pattern. So we're going to start at the narrowest point basically of the scarf. So we're going to do 5 chains. Then I'm starting with the edge stitch that I just transfer. Then I do a knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, and the last one is the edge stitch, and that one we always do knitwise. So this is the side where the zigzag section is going to go, and then on the other side is where we're going to do the additions. So transfer the edge stitch again, do a purl stitch, then a knit stitch, then a yarn over, 1 knit stitch here like this, yarn over, and the edge stitch again knitwise. Then we're going to turn. Transfer the edge stitch, the yarn over we do purlwise, the following stitch also purlwise, and the second yarn over again purlwise. Then 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, and the edge stitch purlwise. Then we're going to turn, transfer the edge stitch, and now we do a purl stitch, and we're going to start with the pattern pattern. We're going to go into the knit stitch a bit deeper, and then we're going to do 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, then a yarn over, then 1 knit stitch, and then yarn over and knit stitch at the end. And we're going to turn then. Transfer the edge stitch, yarn over purlwise, the following stitch also purlwise, and the second yarn over also purlwise, and the next one as well. After that comes a knit stitch, and then purl stitch and a knit stitch, and purlwise we do the edge stitch this time. Then we turn, and then we're again going to transfer the edge stitch and do a purl stitch. So now I have 3 stitches in the pattern pattern. So I'm going to go into the knit stitch a little bit deeper like this. Then 1 purl stitch, and into the following knit stitch again a little bit deeper. One purl stitch, after that 1 knit stitch, yarn over, 1 shortened knit stitch, and the edge stitch knitwise, this time knitwise. Now we transfer the edge stitch again, the yarn over we do purlwise, the next stitch again purlwise, and the yarn over again purlwise. 1 more purl stitch, so always 4. And you see after the edge stitch I always do 4 purl stitches. And then after that come basically 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl till you get to the end. And in this row, in the back row, you're always going to end with a purl stitch. transfer the edge stitch, 1 purl stitch. Now again, once deeper into the knit stitch and then a purl stitch after that. Then again a bit deeper and purl stitch, and then again deeper. So this time we have it 3 times, the last time it was just 2. So always once more per each row. Then purl stitch, knit stitch, yarn over and knit stitch shortened, and then the edge stitch. So the edge stitch on this side is going to be pretty loose. So this way it's going to look nice, and just don't worry about it yet. You're going to see later why it is so loose. Anyway, let's start with the next row, transfer the edge stitch. Then we're going to do 4 stitches purlwise. And then we're going to continue with 1 knit, 1 purl till the end. End with a knit stitch and the purl stitch. Now I have 2 and 4 patterned stitches, which means I have 8 rows. And now after each 12 rows, we're gonna do each zig and zag. So this time we transfer the edge stitch, we do a purl stitch and then 1 deeper, purl stitch, again 1 deeper, purl stitch, once deeper, purl stitch, and again 1 deeper. So this time we have 4 times. Then 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch. So here we don't go any deeper, we just do it as we always would. Then a yarn over, 1 knit stitch shortened, and then 1 knit stitch to end. We're gonna turn, and now we're gonna transfer the edge stitch again, and we're gonna do 4 purl stitches. And then always 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. Okay, so we're gonna do the front and back row one more time, and then we're gonna start with the first zig. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that really quick, the exact same way as so far. Here the last 3 are always 1 purl, 1 knit, yarn over, 1 shortened knit, and 1 purl to end with. So that's the back row. And on the other side, the front row, we're always going to do 4 purl stitches to start with after the edge stitch. And you see how easy this pattern is. So after just a couple of rows, you're already going to know what to do, and you're not going to have to follow the video so closely, which is always awesome, I think, with projects, especially with bigger projects. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 patterned stitches, which is exactly what we want. And now we're going to do the first addition. So here, we're going to do a knit stitch instead of just transferring it. So we're going to need it for the new section. Then the next one we're going to do, and then pull the first over the second one. So we're basically casting off. Then a pattern stitch and cast off. Purlwise and cast off. Then again a pattern, so that's the deeper one, the pattern stitch, and cast off. And you're going to keep changing patterned purl, and make sure you cast off after each one. now we have the first zag here, or zig. So yeah, now we're gonna do one purl stitch. So we always started with a purl stitch so far, so this is why we're starting with a purl stitch now. Then we're gonna do a pattern stitch, a purl stitch, a pattern stitch, a purl stitch, and another pattern stitch. And now I again have the 4 last ones, so we're gonna do knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, yarn over, knitwise shortened, and the last one is knitwise. And this way I'm just gonna continue for another 5 rows. And then I'm gonna start with the next section. So then we're again gonna do 6 stitches cast off, and we're gonna start off with the next zigzag section. So after each section, I'm gonna have 6 stitches more to get started on, since we're casting off the 6. So I'm gonna do a little bit more again till I get to the next section, where I'm again gonna show you how to cast these off to get the zigzag pattern. So yeah, I'll be right back. But this is pretty much all you have to do till you have your desired size. So I did 12 more rows, and now when you count right, so here you have, I'm gonna show you where the last row was, where the first section was, where we cast off the stitches. So then you can count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 pattern stitches. So you always see every second row, since we have the front and back. And now here I'm gonna mark this stitch. So the first stitch we do knitwise, and then we cast them off, and we're counting, so we need 6 total. Four, and 6, and then we can mark this spot, so this pattern stitch, and then when you're above the stitch and you have 6 pattern stitches, you know when your next section with the cast off stitches is gonna start, and that's how you're gonna get the zigzag pattern. So I hope you enjoy, have a lot of fun with it. So I have just a little bit left over from my second spool from the 200 grams. So now I'm gonna cast the stitches off. So I'm basically gonna do it just like with the zigzags. So I'm just gonna do them and cast them off the same way as I did so far. Make sure you do this pretty loosely, since you don't want any tension on the edge row or edge of the scarf. It's gonna look a little bit weird. So as light as possible and without tension. And if you're not sure if you're doing it tensely or not, then you can just pull on it a little bit and see if it's too tense, then fix it. But apart from that, as loosely as you can is always best. And this time I'm doing the pattern stitches deeper again, so this way the pattern continues and doesn't have a weird edge, so it basically just flows into the end. And then when I finish all of the casting off, I'm pretty much done and have my scarf or shawl in dragon style. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to shoot me a thumbs up to let me know. You can also subscribe to my channel, and if you click on the notification bell, you're gonna get notified every time I post something new. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye!